A little bit about yourself and also why you're running for Senate District 2.
Okay. My name is Al Carter. My number is 49 on the ballot. My background includes, had grabbed that right there.
You go.
My background includes associate degree in public relations from Delgado College, a bachelor's from Southeastern, and a master's degree in higher education from Nicholls State University. I've been in Thibodaux for over 12 years. I was recruited as chief of police at Nicholls State University. I'm married to Perlette Poray Carter. We've been married for 26 years. I have 3 kids, AJ, Andrew, and Rachel. My 2 boys, they attend Nicholls State University. AJ should be graduating this year. I have over 20 years of law enforcement experience. And I tell people my experience is not based on watching Adam 12 or Dragnet, and I guess I'm telling my age, but actually working the streets. My experience includes working as a reserve officer with the New Orleans Police Department, chief of police at Delgado College, chief at Nicholls State University, and most recently I was the captain at the Work-Release Center working for Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office. Currently I'm working at Lafourche Parish Juvenile Justice Center through the parish school system as a teacher.
Okay. All right. And District 2, as I understand it, is a new district that's been created through the redistricting process, so everyone knows it's kind of, it covers a wide area, if I understand it, some of which is Lafourche Parish, but it goes and it branches towards the river, is that right?
It starts in the northern part of Lafourche Parish, pretty much from St. Patrick and Jackson north, ranging all the way to West Baton Rouge, Iberville Parish, including Ascension and Assumption, St. James, St. John, and a precinct in St. Charles Parish.
Okay.
It's 8 different parishes. It's a monster of a district, but I believe that I can do a good job for representing all of those constituents in those parishes.
And as a candidate, what do you feel is the most pressing issue for the district at this point in time?
Well, there's a lot of things we've got to look for. I was asked a question at the St. James Forum, and they said, what do we need in St. James? And I told them the same thing we need in Lafourche, Ascension, Assumption, St. Charles, West Baton Rouge, Iberville. We need opportunities for our people. We need educational opportunities. We need training opportunities, opportunity to help themselves out and to make a difference. Jimmy, the reason I started to run, and I neglected to answer that initially, was I'm chairman of the Lafourche Parish Political Executive Committee. And one of the things that we do is we look for qualified candidates. And when this race came up, I got a call, and they asked me about running. And I pretty much said, no, I didn't want to get involved. But then I thought about it, if not me, who? If not now, when? And I looked at the experience of the other candidates, really nice guys, but I think I have a considerable amount of experience and education that would best serve the people of District 2. And then as we started campaigning, it became more evident that people are looking for values. People want to get back to those things that made this country great, and that's what I bring. I met with an organization, and they said, what do you represent? What's your background? And I told them I was pro-life. I believe that life begins at conception. I told them I believe in traditional marriage, that the family unit, male and female, the family unit is the basis for society. And the guy told me, he said, you know, we don't want to hear about that. We don't want to hear about social issues. And I told him, I said, you have to understand something, that a society without values is like a ship without a rudder. It goes around in circles. And I've seen that our country is in that situation right now, that we're going in all kinds of crazy directions and not fully benefiting all of our people. I really believe that we need to get back on course. Let's get back to the basics. So let's look at the basic things that brought this country to where it is, and work toward making these things important again. My background in law enforcement, over 20 years. I told him, I said, I'll explain that to you. And I understand, it's an unusual combination. My background is in education, law enforcement, and I pastor the church. And they said, that's a strange combination. I really believe that God has placed all those things in there for a purpose. One of the things that I discovered, that a majority of our people who are incarcerated only have an 8th grade education, between 65 to 70% of them. And so when we marry the experience of being law enforcement, corrections, and education, we find out if we don't properly educate our young people, then they wind up in the criminal justice system. One of the things, Jimmy, that I think we've got to do, we incarcerate over 40,000 people in the state of Louisiana right now. If we could reduce that only by 5%, we're talking about 2,000 people, I'm sorry. We're talking about almost an $80 million drop in the budget. We've got to look and identify the true needs of our population. We've got to work with our education system. We've got to form a net where it will connect education, law enforcement, corrections, the district attorney's office to work together. And I think I have that background and experience to work with these different agencies to make the difference.
It's interesting you say that. As a prosecutor, I was in court today, and my partner and I, we were thinking, there was a common theme. The judge had asked everyone who was pleading guilty to a felony about their educational background. And out of about 10 people, only one of them had finished high school.
That's right.
So I think you're correct with that. So what would you like to see to try to, I guess, increase that education level within our youth? What kind of message or plan would you implement? Okay.
If we realize that between 62 to 70% of our young people who are the people that are incarcerated drop out in 8th grade, we've got to identify between that 4th and that 6th grade year what their true interests are. When I was the warden at the Work Release Center, we didn't hire electricians, we didn't hire plumbers, we didn't hire carpenters because we had the skills within the facility. That lets me know that these people who are incarcerated are not unintelligent people. We just didn't provide an educational system that would grab their attention. Kids that go to kindergarten, less than 50% graduate from high school. Less than 10% graduate from college. So we're losing 90% of the population, but we're funneling everybody into higher education. What we've got to do is we've got to begin to provide for our kids an option and say, okay, it's nothing embarrassing about going to a VOTEC school. It's nothing embarrassing about going to a community college. We direct them in that way, and then they could be successful. If we drop that prison population by 2,000, something else you're going to find out is that a majority of the people who are incarcerated are sons and daughters of people who are already incarcerated, and their kids may wind up in the same situation. So we've got to break that cycle. That's why I think that we have to unite and work with our charter school system and a public school system so that we can identify what the true needs of our students are. Because if we don't do it, we're going to continue to do the same thing. We've increased our prison population by almost 130% over the years. But that's just one area. Another area I want to look at, Jimmy, is coastal erosion. I work with BISCO, a social organization, and we worked on coastal erosion. I really want to get the Corps of Engineers out of repairing our levees and building levees. We can do it. If we can take, and SWES can take shrimp boats and turn them into Arctic vessels to break through icebergs. If Bollinger can build ships that are used in the military across this nation, we could build our levees. We've got to stop taking the wonderful sediment that's being taken from the Atchafalaya Basin and the mouth of the river, Mississippi River, and dumping it off the continental shelf. This is fertile soil that could be placed on our levee, placed on our coastline to restore our wetlands. This is soil that will actually encourage the growth and rebuilding. It's ridiculous that during Gustav we had a hurricane level 2 destroy the southern part of Terrebonne Parish. It was too far away. If we had a coastline that was legitimate and firm, we would not have had the damage in South Terrebonne. We've got to work on that area. We've also got to realize that government has got to work within its budget. I believe that we can work within our budget. We can expand the tax base, not by raising taxes, but by reducing our welfare system, by helping people who are not working right now, provide training that they can get jobs and contribute to the population and to the public.
Very good. We're about out of time, but in closing, why don't you just look into the camera and let the people know why they should vote for yourself.
Thank you. I bring to the table qualifications, education, and background that will make me successful as your next senator from District 2. I believe that we could work together and make a difference for the state of Louisiana. If LSU can be the top football school in the nation, #1 in the nation, we can have the top educational system in the nation. We could be the top business and industry recruiter in the nation. I believe that Louisiana's best days are ahead of her. I really believe that we could make a difference. The resources are within this state. We have a wonderful state. Physical resources, human beings who work together, who strive together. I ask you on October 22nd to give me your vote. I'd be honored for you to vote for Al Carter, number 49, on your ballot. Thank you, and may God bless you and your families.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll take a short break. When we return, we'll have Mr. Billy Hebert joining us. He's announcing his candidacy for State Representative District 53.